Howdy, howdy, and welcome to another wonderful Trash Take. So apparently today Trump met with Netanyahu at the White House, and it looks like they've tried to do some peace deal where now he's like dividing up Gaza into areas of construction zones for safety and then other zones where terrorists can go do terrorist things. I don't quite know. I just saw it and I decided I wanted to make a video on it to see what he actually says. And I want to preface this. I'm American first. I don't want my money going to Israel. I don't want my money going to Gaza. I think right now what Israel's doing in Gaza is getting more and more fucked up, and they're losing more of the people's faith, and rightfully so, because it seems like every other week they accidentally bomb a hospital. And yes, don't get me wrong, Hamas is a terrorist organization that is using the public and using innocent people as meat shields, but at the same time, Israel doesn't seem to care that there's meat shields, and that's my personal opinion on it, though. But I want to see what Trump actually has to say to see if he's actually finally fixed this for the 5th time or something. I don't know. I feel like there was like a few months ago, there was a peace deal and they were supposed to release some hostages. Then some got released and then more didn't get released and they kind of fell apart. So I want to see what's actually going to happen here. I just don't want my taxpayer dollars funding for more people to die.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you, Mr. President.
So this is a big
Turn this
day, a
up.
beautiful day, potentially one of the great
All right. We're just going to go ahead and do my normal 1.25.
days ever in civilization.
The greatest day ever in civilization? Holy fuck, he's out of it.
That have been going on for hundreds of years and thousands of years. We're going to, at least we're at a minimum very, very close, and I think we're beyond very close. And I want to thank Bibi for really getting in there and doing a job. We've worked well together, as we have with many other countries, both of us, with many other countries, which is the only way this whole situation gets solved. And I'm not just talking about Gaza. Gaza is one thing, but we're talking about much beyond Gaza.
Israel's in conflict with basically everyone in the Middle East besides like Qatar and Dubai, as far as I understand.
The whole deal, everything.
And Egypt.
It's called peace in the Middle East. So today is a historic day for peace, and Prime Minister Netanyahu and I have just concluded an important meeting on many vital issues, including Iran, trade, the expansion of the Abraham Accords, and most importantly, we discussed how to end the war in Gaza, but it's just a part of the bigger picture, which is peace in the Middle East.
Peace in the Middle East.
Eternal peace in the Middle East.
Peace in the Middle East.
So this is far more than anybody expected, but the level of support that I've had from the nations in the Middle East and surrounding Israel and neighbors of Israel has been incredible, incredible.
I just want to say it's a night and day difference between Trump and Biden. We saw Biden once every few months making like common press conferences. We have Trump doing this shit back to back to back daily. Completely different energy.
Every single one of them. This afternoon, after extensive consultation with our friends and partners throughout the region, I'm formally releasing our principles for peace, which people have really liked, I must say. And these are done, not just routinely done, these are done with total consideration and working with the nations that we're talking about. All of these nations have made contributions.
But you made a deal with Israel right here, but I don't imagine there's anyone from Hamas there to immediately agree to the deal, or Iraq or Afghanistan or any other countries nearby that are pissed. This is just like you talking with Israel.
To those suggestions. I want to thank the leaders of many Arab...
My point is, it doesn't sound like it's much negotiating. It's like he's telling Netanyahu what to say to the other countries, and if they disagree, now you got to deal with America too.
And Muslim nations for their tremendous support in developing the proposal, along with many of our allies in Europe. Europe has been very much involved, and as I was called by many of the European leaders, most of them saying, is this true? Are you really doing peace in the Middle East? This is the most incredible thing we've heard. Some think it's the biggest thing they've ever...
It went from Bush invading the fuck out of the Middle East for weapons of mass destruction, oil, and Osama bin Laden, to Trump trying to pull us out no matter what.
Ever heard. They called just to find out, was it just a rumor or is it actually done? And then they said, have you spoken to the Arab leaders? Have you spoken to all of the other leaders that we have to get? A lot of people involved in this one.
Yeah.
I also want to thank Prime Minister Netanyahu for agreeing to the plan and for trusting that if we work together, we can bring an end to the death and destruction that we've seen for so many years, decades, even centuries, and begin a new chapter of security, peace, and prosperity for the entire region. And I want to just say that my meetings and dialogue that we had with so many countries, Saudi Arabia as an example, the king is a phenomenal person. The Emir of Qatar, he's an incredible people.
Incredible.
UAE, and that's MBZ and ABZ.
Incredible.
We're totally involved.
I think today Dubai bought EA, Electronic Arts, the studio, for $50 billion, $55 billion or something like that.
These are the people that we've been dealing with and who've been actually very much involved in this negotiation, giving us ideas, things they can live with, things they can't live with. Pretty complex. I mean, after
So he has taken input from other
2,000 years,
leaders.
whatever it is,
Okay.
I guess it's got to be a little complex, or it would have been done a long time ago. The King of Jordan was with us, as you know, in the United Nations. The President of Turkey, President Erdogan, is a friend of mine, a strong man.
He's the one who, when it was on stage, pointed at him saying, yeah, he knows something about cheating in an election. Like, absolutely fucking hilarious. Like Trump, hate Trump, you gotta admit, he's the funniest fucking president possible. This man will say and do anything, no matter what, no matter the situation. Like, he's a fucking wild ball.
Man, but a good man. President of Indonesia, somebody who's an amazing leader. Prabowo, he is an amazing leader and respected by everybody. He was in the room with us. We were together with most of these people that I'm mentioning. Others were by phone or the next day.
Holy shit, this is a
The
preamble.
Prime Minister and the Field Marshal of Pakistan, they were with us right from the beginning. Incredible. In fact, they just put out a statement that they fully believe in this pact. It just came out just as I was walking around. They said, sir, you have a big notice from the Prime Minister of Pakistan and from the Field Marshal that they back this 100%. President El-Sisi of Egypt, who's terrific. And
They back this 100%. So is this an ultimatum? You will comply. If not, everyone's going to decimate you.
these are people I've gotten to know over the years. I mean, I would say it started around 2015 and then went into 2016 when the presidency officially began. But I've known them actually for a long time, and they're in many cases really great men.
There's no way he's on the second page.
In many cases, they're great men, and some great women too. They tend to be mostly men, however, I will say that. But
Gender's irrelevant, but they're all men. But they're all men.
if accepted by Hamas, this proposal calls for the release of all remaining hostages immediately, but in no case
Don't think they'll do that.
more than 72 hours. So the hostages are coming back, and I hate even saying this from the standpoint, doesn't sound right, but it is so important to the parents. The bodies of the young men, I believe in almost all cases, the young men are coming back immediately. I met with parents. The parents felt as strongly about getting the body of their dead boy back as they did as though the boy were alive and well.
Yeah.
It's so important to them. And it means the immediate end to the war itself, not just Gaza. It's the war itself. Under the plan, Arab and Muslim countries have committed, and in writing in many cases, but I actually would take their word for it. The people I mentioned, I'd take their word for it. To demilitarize Gaza, and that's quickly. Decommission the military capabilities of
So
Hamas and all
they're all going to team up and absolutely decimate Hamas, is what he's saying. Okay.
terror organizations. Do that immediately. And we're relying on the countries that I named and others to deal with Hamas.
The issue with Palestine and Gaza and what makes this issue hard is the Hamas people that'll absolutely never wear their uniforms and they do guerrilla tactics. They'll just absolutely pull out AKs and start shooting people. And there's a lot of misinformation that comes out of the region too that the media immediately eats up for some reason. That is the biggest issue here. To say that they'll completely agree to this, I find that hard to believe. This just sounds like it's an ultimatum so that he could justify later us going in there and cleaning it up manually.
And I'm hearing that Hamas wants to get this done too, and that's a good thing. And destroy all terror infrastructure, including the tunnels, weapons, production facilities. They have a lot of production.
Yeah, I remember seeing that. Like, it was something like Hamas has no water or some shit like that. And then I saw a video of Hamas taking the water pipes out of the ground and turning them into mortar tubes to launch missiles at Israel. And I was just like, huh, that's strange. No wonder they don't have fucking water. Like, Hamas is actually a terrorist organization that are holding these people hostage. They are holding the people of Palestine, Gaza hostage. Like, they have a terror reign there. A lot of the people in Palestine can't even speak out without the threat of being killed, too, from what I understand. I'm not very versed in this region. I occasionally listen to it. From what I understand, Hamas is a terrorist organization, and the people there deserve better.
Facilities that we're destroying. It will also help train local police forces in the areas that we're discussing right now, in particular in and around Gaza, working with the new transitional authority in Gaza. All parties will agree on a timeline for Israeli forces to withdraw in phases. They'll be withdrawing in phases.
Okay, so Israel fully pulls out and they get it's a two-state solution then.
No more shooting, hopefully. As progress is made toward achieving these goals, Arab and Muslim nations need to be allowed the chance to fulfill these commitments of dealing with Hamas. They have to deal with them because They were the one group that we have not dealt with. I haven't dealt with them. But the Arab countries are going to, and Muslim countries are going to be dealing with Hamas, and I believe they've already been there. I think they probably have an understanding, and they haven't maybe mentioned that, but I would imagine.
Yeah, I thought it was crazy. All the people in the Middle East, they flee like European countries. None of the Muslim countries want to take them in at all. They all go to American or Western countries. I always thought that was interesting. Like, why the fuck are all the European countries taking the war-torn people from the Middle East and not allowing them into their country? Because the majority of them are probably still terrorists. That's the common sense answer.
They do, otherwise they wouldn't have gone as far as they've gone. If they're unable to do so, then Israel would have the absolute right, and actually our full backing, the U.S. full backing. Marco's here, and a lot of our leaders are here, our great Vice President, Susie Wiles, Steve Witkoff, Jared.
He just said they have the backing.
They've been so involved in this process. I don't think anybody else could have done it or even come close, but it's we're right there. We're right there. First time in.
It sounds like it's an ultimatum. You will comply or you're getting fucking annihilated.
Thousands of years, I think you can probably say, if you really look into it, if you study back, if you're a scholar, you would say thousands of years. Israel would have my full backing to finish the job of destroying the threat of Hamas. But
full backing to destroy Hamas, which hides among plainclothes civilians.
I hope that we're going to have a deal for peace. And if Hamas rejects the deal, which is always possible, they're the only one left. Everyone else has accepted it. But I have a feeling that...
Why would a terrorist organization give up their power? They won't. I don't see them saying yes to this. This is basically the biggest threat they can do, and they're going to do what they always do, which is basically say, try it. Because they know there's going to be collateral damage.
We're going to have a positive answer. But if not, as you know, Bibi, you'd have our full backing to do what you would have to do. Everyone understands that the ultimate result must be the elimination of any danger posed in the region, and that danger is caused by Hamas. The tyranny of terror has to end, and this is, again, something that we're looking for. This is eternity. This is for...
I know people hate Israel, and they call them the real terror, but Hamas is a international terrorist organization. They are a terrorist organization. Israel is still considered a country. They're still at the UN. I know like 50 UN people walked out the other day when Israel, I think it was Netanyahu or someone from Israel, went up to speak at the UN. That's some theater kid theatrics. That does nothing to help the world. That does nothing to help the political climate. That does nothing to help the people of Palestine or Gaza to walk out when Israel is speaking. You are world leaders trying to solve world problems, and half of you or a quarter of you get up and leave just because Israel's coming to the stage. That's fucking pathetic.
Forever. To ensure the success of this effort, my plan calls for the creation of a new international oversight body, the Board of Peace, we call it, the Board of Peace. Sort of a beautiful name, the Board of Peace, which will be...
The Board of Peace!
Headed, not at my request.
Didn't we rename the Department of Defense to the Department of War now, and now we have the Board of Peace coming along?
I'm very busy, but we have to make sure this works. The leaders of the Arab world and Israel and everybody involved asked me to do this, so it would be headed by a gentleman known as President Donald J. Trump of the United States.
I wonder who that is. Is he in the room with us, Mr. President?
Some extra work to do, but it's so important that I'm willing to do it, and we'll do it right.
Humble.
And we'll put leaders from other countries on, and leaders that are very distinguished leaders, and we'll have a board, and one of the people that wants to be on the board is the UK former Prime Minister, Tony Blair, good man, very good man, and some others, and they'll be named over the next few days. And it'll be quite the board. Everybody wants to be on it now. I don't know if that had anything to do. They named me and everybody else wanted to be on it. I guess they figure, well, he's a soft touch.
He's just special.
Working with the World Bank and others, it'll be responsible for recruiting and training a new government that will be made up of Palestinians along with highly qualified experts from all around the world. Hamas and other terrorist factions will play no role in the board, but they'll play no role in the governance of...
As far as I understand, Hamas right now is the governing body in Palestine. And that's the issue where all this shit comes from, is that terrorists have control of the government and they rule through subjugation. If you disagree with them, they kill you. That's my understanding. Could be more nuanced than that, but it makes sense to me. If the terrorists have control of the government, that's why it's constantly at war, because they are the bad people and they don't want to be removed, so they'll do everything in power to stop themselves from being removed. So I don't see them accepting this deal. I don't.
Gaza at all, directly or indirectly. As you know, thousands of Hamas leaders have been killed and soldiers have been killed. And we can never forget October 7th, but thousands of...
Yeah, October 7th was fucking crazy to me because there are so many people cheering for it when they just like jumped the border and started killing everything indiscriminately. There was GoPro footage that the terrorists had of them landing on gliders, then going into neighborhoods and basically shooting anything that moves before they get dropped themselves. That shit was fucking crazy to me. And I was like, people are in support of this? These are fucking terrorists. What the fuck are we doing? These are literal terrorists. Went to a music festival, shooting indiscriminately at crowds? What the fuck? I never understood how people could support Hamas. Yeah, I get that Israel isn't the best, but you're just doing straight fucking acts of terrorism? And you think that's gonna help your cause? Fucking retarded.
Paid the price for that. And now it's time to get our hostages back and get back to trying to build something that's really great and very important.
Are the hostages even alive?
Netanyahu was very clear about his opposition to a Palestinian state. And he continuously mentions October 7th, and I understand that. Most people do. And I understand and respect his position on many things, but what he's doing today is so good for Israel. I notice that they have large crowds gathering in Israel all the time, and they have my name up. They like me for whatever reason, Bibi, I don't know, but they do like me.
Yeah, because you're giving them all that free fucking money. You give them all that free USAID money. Of course they fucking like you.
But they say...
My taxpayer dollars.
Please get the hostages back and please end the war. They've had it. It's had it. So I think it's a very popular thing you do because he's a warrior.
Yeah.
He doesn't know about getting back to a normal way of life, but he is a warrior, and Israel's lucky to have him. But now the people want to get back to peace. They want to get back to normalization in a true sense. Several countries have foolishly recognized the Palestinian state. As you know, some of our European friends, allies, good people, but they're really, I think, doing that because they're very tired of what's going on for so many decades. They've been...
Everyone's tired of the conflict, that's true, and it's now got the social media spite behind it, so you have all the newer generations that don't understand a single thing that's happening in the region scream, Palestine must be free. So just let the terrorists completely take over the state and get free reign over all the people? That sounds pretty fucking bad to me, but...
Presidents and prime ministers for years, and during this time, having to do with the Middle East, all they're doing is talking about the same thing over and over. They want to see it get back, and nobody wants that more than me, or I believe Bibi too. But the people of Israel want it. They really want it. They want the hostages back.
I'm sure they do.
Includes the probably 32 bodies that we're talking about, 20 people that are living, 32 or so people that are dead, and they want to have peace.
Do you honestly think they have the bodies after how much Israel's bombed the fuck out of their country since October 7th? Do you not think some of those bodies are part of the kill count already against Palestine? I don't think they have the bodies. I honestly wouldn't. I do not expect them whatsoever to have these bodies.
So let us not forget how we got here. Hamas was elected by the Palestinian people. Israel withdrew from Gaza thinking they would live in peace. Remember that a long time ago, they withdrew. They said, you take it. This is our contribution to peace. But that didn't work out. That didn't work out. It was the opposite of peace. They pulled away. They let them have it. And I never forgot that because I said, that doesn't sound like a good deal to me. As a real estate person, I mean, they gave up the ocean, right? Ron, they gave up the ocean. They said, who would do this deal? And it still didn't work out. They were very generous, actually. And they gave up the most magnificent piece of land in many ways in the Middle East. And they said, all we want to do now is have peace. And that request was not honored.
I don't know when this deal was or what he's talking about.
Diverted resources to build over 400 miles of tunnels and terror infrastructure, rocket production facilities, and hid their military command posts and launch sites in hospitals, schools, and mosques. So if you went after them, you'd be after them, and you wouldn't even realize you ended up knocking out a hospital or school or a mosque. A terrible thing.
Damn.
Terrible way to have to fight. No fight is good, but that's a real bad one. So there are many...
Yeah, it's a losing side because Hamas doesn't wear uniforms, so anytime Israel attacks, they're immediately saying it's all civilians no matter what. Like, this does not look good for Israel. It does not. They're not winning the good people award ever at this point for this shit.
Palestinians who wish to live in peace, many. I've seen so many of them, and they have support. And I challenge the Palestinians to take responsibility for their destiny, because that's what we're giving them. We're giving them responsibility for their destiny, fully condemn and prohibit terrorism and earn their way to a brighter future. They don't want the life that they've had. They've had a rough life.
I just hope to God this doesn't end up with U.S. troops on the ground when this inevitably fails.
With Hamas. If the
Please don't
Palestinian
do that,
Authority
Trump.
does not complete the reforms that I laid out in my vision for peace in 2020, they'll have only themselves to blame. We're giving them an amazing footprint, and they have amazing support from the leaders of the Arab world and the Muslim world. The great leaders. These are great leaders.
If everyone agreed to this in the entire region, then yeah, Trump has way more authority, and this probably will go way better than previous attempts, right? I don't know how much backing has been previously there when we've tried to liberate Palestine. I don't even know when we've tried to liberate Palestine. I just know there's been conflicts going on since I was a kid. Never gave a fuck because American, not going to affect me. And now it's my taxpayer dollars giving Israel money and my taxpayer dollars making it to Hamas's pockets, and they're killing each other with it. It's my money either way now, and now I have to pay my taxes. So I'm not very appreciative of that.
They're unbelievable leaders that have built great countries and very wealthy countries. What the future holds for the Palestinians, no one really knows, but the plan that we put forward today is focused on ending the war immediately, getting all of our hostages back, getting everything back.
It sounds like a good plan. Let's see how it happens.
Hard to believe when you even say it. And creating conditions for durable Israeli security and Palestinian success. Israeli security is going to be involved. We're going to help you. We'll be there with you in terms of, will be, I guess, because that's the way it seems to be. But
yeah, so it is going to be American troops on the ground with Israel moment. So that fucking, it looks like I got what I voted for, where now we're basically deployed to the Middle East yet again. Fuck.
They shouldn't have to be within a few days. They shouldn't have to be a shot fired.
72 hours of this, so we'll see by like fucking Thursday.
Maybe for eternity. Wouldn't that be nice? I hope it's true. I can tell you the leadership of that region feels that there's a good chance of it being true. So this will lead to this agreement that we're talking about will lead to a sustainable long-term peace. No president in history has been a greater friend of the state of Israel than I have, in addition to negotiating the Abraham Accords. I like to say it that way because the real people, that's what they call Abraham. I would say Abraham, but it's so much nicer when you say Abraham.
What?
So
what is he?
More elegant.
What?
But the Abraham
How much did Israel pay him to say this? What the fuck is my president doing?
Accords, they're amazing. Jared, you did that along with your group of geniuses, and nobody thought that could be done. We have 4 countries, and Sleepy Joe Biden didn't do a thing. He didn't even know what the hell they were. He should have had them filled up. But I think this will also lead
Not
to
Sleepy Joe.
backing them. And who knows? Maybe even Iran can get in there. I hope. We hope we're going to be able to get along with Iran. I think they're going to be open to it. I really believe that. But they could be a member. I long ago said, I'll bet you at some point Iran will be a member of the Accords. And little did I realize it was going to take this turn. That was some turn we did with the B-2s. But
yeah, we fucking bombed their nuclear production silos because, oh, they don't have missiles. No, now they're days away from having missiles. Like, uh-oh. Ruh-roh, Raggy.
I think they might very well be there because it's a great thing for them economically. I recognize the eternal capital of Israel. I opened the American embassy in Jerusalem. That was something that everyone said would never be done, could never be done. Virtually every president for many, many years, for decades, would campaign.
The first time I heard of Israel, I heard of it from World War Z. I want to say it's either the game or the book, one of those that had something in Israel. And I was like, oh, this is a real country? I didn't know that was real. I thought it was fake. I didn't know it was a real fucking country. Like, I knew jack shit about Israel. I knew Palestine. I'd heard about that, but I hadn't heard shit about Israel.
Campaign on making Jerusalem the capital of Israel. They campaigned on it over and over. Is that right, Steve? Is that right? Everyone, and when they got to it, and I understand why now, because it was so. When I got to office, I campaigned on it too. I said, we're going to make it. And then I'd get calls from the leaders of various countries saying, please don't do it. Please don't do it. It'll end the whole world. Please don't do it. And finally, I just didn't say anything, and I did it. People were calling me before I did it because I heard I was going to do it, and leaders of countries were calling me. And
before I even knew it, they were already calling me saying, don't do it. I said, I don't know what you're talking about.
Tuesday, Wednesday, 3-4 times a day. And I said, tell them I'll call them back on Friday. And I announced it on Thursday, and I called them back, the biggest people in the world, and they said, you've done it. I said, done what? You've made the capital of Israel, Jerusalem, and we wanted to talk yet. I wish you called me a little sooner. Maybe I could have done something about it. So that was a lot easier than getting into an argument because I knew what they were calling about. And you know what? It turned out to be amazing. Everybody thought it was going to lead to...
I have no idea what he's talking about. Right? I have no fucking idea.
That's what they said. It didn't lead to anything. It just led to something that I promised and something that was very, very popular for...
Promises made, promises kept.
Jewish people.
Moral of the story.
And other people, too. I recognize Israeli sovereignty over the Golan Heights, and I cut taxpayer funding to the corrupt United Nations Relief and Works Agency. And United Nations was interesting because, as you know, a few days ago they introduced me, ladies and gentlemen, The President of the United States, I'm looking at my teleprompter and the thing was...
Okay, I'm done. I got the gist of it. So it looks like all the countries are basically agreeing that if Israel, or sorry, not if Israel, if Hamas doesn't stop the terrorist organizations or the terrorist attacks and basically pulls out entirely, they're going to get annihilated. I honestly don't see how they'll agree to this. This is basically give us everything we want or you're going to be killed. And they're just going to keep fighting because that's what they've been doing. I don't think it's going to work. Could work. Could eat my own words. Wouldn't be a bad thing if I'm wrong here. I don't think it's going to work, though. We'll see, though. We'll see. Trump, is he the peacemaker of the generations? Is he the Mr. Worldwide war ender? Who fucking knows? We'll see, boys. Give it 3 days or so, and then we're troops on the ground in Israel getting ready to invade the fucking Middle East, but this time it's Palestine. They'll be fucking amazing. I'm sure. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I don't really cover a lot of outside America stuff because the world's kind of fucked. I know I sort of dive into it because I don't really... I'm more worried about what's going on in America at the moment. Yes, there's a lot of free speech issues that are happening everywhere, and there's a lot of wars going on everywhere, and I like that Trump's doing what he can to stop it. I think this is a grave misunderstanding on his part because it seems like the people, from my understanding of Palestine, they don't want Hamas there, but Hamas is like a terror organization that'll just kill anyone that disagrees with them, so they don't have a fucking choice. So I don't know how they think that Hamas is magically going to step down. I don't think they will. I don't see it, but that's just me. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. If you like the video, feel free to like it, comment, or subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Until then, later.